We're going to get started. It's so wonderful to be together for another session of meditation and exploration of the book of Psalms. Today we'll be looking at Psalm 102, but only a short passage of it, little section. I'd like to start with a chant that comes from this psalm. I'm going to share my screen and we can take a look at the words together. Let's find that. Text study. Here it is. All right, we are looking at Psalm 102, and we are asking for transformation now. And you'll see why. One of my verses of all of Psalms that was introduced to me many years ago, in a text, no, not a text study, in a musical service. This is a setting of Shlomo Karlebach. The words are, Ata takum tirachem Tzion, ki eit lechinana ki va moed. The words are here on the screen. The text study is in the chat, so some of you maybe can help repost that as we go along. And the words are here. Ata takum tirachem Tzion, ki eit lechinana ki va moed. All right, you see that here? I hope. Okay. I'm going to sing it. And I'd love for you to join with me. Let's stay on mute so you guys can hear me so I can effectively lead our session today. That would be super helpful. Let's see. To mute. Okay. All right. So the words are, you could repeat after me in your Zoomiverse. Okay. Atatakum tirachem Tzion ki eit lechenina Kiva Moed. You will arise and have mercy on Zion because the time is now. The time is now for abundant grace for her. In today's meditation, we will be focusing on the outmost overpouring and overflowing invitation for love to fall and pour all over us, over the downtrodden, which is really the energy of this psalm, and really a focus on Jerusalem, which is the center of the universe. And I'd love to invite you to really picture this idea of Jerusalem, the idea of, of Israel, of Zion, in its highest level of glory, and seeing it really where it is now, and asking for that downpouring of blessing upon her. Very much needed. It's almost like, if mama's okay, everybody's gonna be okay, right? If mama ain't okay, you better watch out. That is, I think, the energy of Jerusalem. When Jerusalem's not okay, it's like the rest of the world feels it, as we know. So that is why we are asking, right, for this divine abundance and overflowing of blessing on Zion, but on us, on all of us. Jewish, not Jewish, it's not really what this is about. It's about all of us being together in this like high energy of feeling the flow. All right, so I started teaching this song, but I'm going to start again and just join with me. You might know the melody from other Kabbalat Shabbat. It's a popular melody that's been kind of adapted to other prayers and other words, but this one's the original, and that's why I love it. So again, we're focusing on the words right now, just the beginning here as an opening, a way to get the juices flowing, get your brain moving, connect body, spirit, and breath, okay, through these words here, this verse 14 of Psalm 100. I'm going to sing it and then we'll move into Nigun, which is a song of the heart. You guys don't even have to read the words. You can just kind of listen, let the melody wash over you, and just sing it as you are, where you are, whatever the words are that they come out, okay? Atatakum tirachem Zion, ki etzlechenina kiva moed. Atatakum tirachem Zion, ki etzlechenina kiva moed. Atatakum tirachem Zion, ki etzlechenina kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed, kiva moed. Ay, 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 anay, nanay, nay, yanay, nanay, nay. Yanai nanai na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 yanai nanai na yanai nanai na ya na 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 ya na 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 yanai nanai na ya na 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 ya na 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 yanai nanai na ya na 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 ya na 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 Yai, nai, nai, yana, nai. Yai, nai, yai, nai, nai, yanai, nanai, nai, yanai, nanai, nai, yanai, nanai, nai, yai, nanai, yai, nanai, yanai, nanai, nai, yanai, nanai, nai, yanai, nanai, nai, yai, nanai, yai, nanai, yanai, nanai, nai, yai, nanai, yai, nanai, na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na na ya na na ya na 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 ya na na ya na na. So we'll keep that nigun going in our hearts, in our minds. We'll take it with us when we depart from our meditation today, when we go out into the world. So we'll take a few minutes here to take another look at the psalm, just a piece of the psalm, really, and then we'll move into our meditation. So I wanted to open with these words from Pirkei Avot. Rabbi Hillel used to say, if I'm not for me, who will be for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? So these words, in a way, were directing to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, to the heavens, to the divine flow. We're saying, this is the time. This is the time. We say these words to ourselves. Right? It's an ethical teaching from Pirkei Avot. Right? It's words to live by, that we cannot sit around and wait for others to help us. Right? We need to act for ourselves. We need to stand up and speak out for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, right? We see ourselves in interconnection with all of community, with everybody around, with anybody who needs help. We're not just in it for ourselves, but this is said to everybody, right? So that's to say, no one is just in it for themselves. We are always in it for each other, and we're always also in it for ourselves. And, just to put a little like fire under the spirit, under our feet, if not now, when? It's got to happen right now. There's no waiting. So I love this idea that we're kind of like directing these words to God. And especially the last part, we're not going to push God's hands, right? We're not really asking God to do something that God doesn't already want to do, right? That isn't what prayer is, by the way, people. When we pray, it's a very big misconception, okay? That we actually have the power, the ability to like change God's mind. That's not what we're doing. We're asking to come into alignment to the flow of divine messaging and action. and to put ourselves like kind of jumping into the currents, right? And that's true prayer. To allow ourselves to come into alignment with the flow that already is. Whenever we feel separate, whenever we separate ourselves, whenever we think we know better, right, than God's plan, we're in trouble, right? The prayer is to open ourselves to the truth of the flow that is already happening and unfolding. And I tell you that because I think it helps us to like take a weight off of our shoulders. To think that we could carry the weight of the world and that we can do it all is impossible. But what we can do is to ask for guidance and to be open to our place in that flow of divine spirit that is always already flowing and happening. Tuning ourselves into that channel, right, of the divine radio, okay, to get us to the right station so that we're hearing what we need to hear to act in the way we need to act. It's pretty big stuff, but maybe a bit of a rethink for ourselves today. And I always say to y'all, yeah, take it or leave it. But that's where I am, right? On these words, and just kind of how I've been feeling lately. So the Hebrew is here. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller, but and please repost the sheet in the chat if those of you came in later and still need to see it. So just another moment on context, and then we'll move into the meditation. This is a piece of psalm, okay? It's a much longer psalm, which is really geared toward the downtrodden. It's geared to those who really need a lot of help. And who doesn't need a lot of help? So we can see ourselves, in the psalm, right? But those are the beginning verses. We're jumping in verse 14. Well, we're saying, this is the time. All right, we're asking, it's a request, okay? A bit of a strong language here because we're saying right now, this is the time. It's coming. I know it. Ki et lechen na ki vamoed. To have tremendous compassion and grace. What is grace? What is grace? Chen, grace. It's the unwarranted feeling of receiving divine love. When you have chen, which is something all of us can have here, chen is that big smile where you greet your friends, where you greet your loved one, where you greet people you don't know, which says and communicates to them, I love you, I don't even know you, right? But come into my space and let me show you some kindness and friendliness. We ask that of God because it is an attribute of the divine, chen, unearned love, unearned grace. That's what grace is, chen. Okay? So this is the time, right? V'yir'u goyim et shem Hashem v'chol malchei ha'aretz et kvodecha. Your servants and have been gracious to her dust. Okay, so for those who are Ohavei Tzion, lovers of Zion, and this is written for all of us and everybody who's been in the exile, who thinks about the stones, who thinks about the dust and the ashes, who thinks about the idea of Jerusalem rebuilt, which is a messianic idea. It hasn't truly happened yet. Okay, some have said, and we believe, the beginnings of that process, perhaps with the state of Israel, yes, but a state of Israel that still is in the process of refining herself. So we're still looking forward, okay? I and Letzion, Sophia, we're looking ahead. We're looking forward, okay, forward, all right, to this time of even, the greater rebuilding, which is built on compassion and love for all the inhabitants and all of us as part of that process as well. But for those who are, in the exile, right, feeling it, right, never giving up on Jerusalem, Zion rebuilt. That's what this is about. When you have like the dust, like when you've gone to Israel and like you kiss the ground, if for those of you who've experienced that, or take a rock from somewhere in the Negev and you still have it, that feeling of like the precious stones, like the dust means something. That is really who this psalm is speaking to. So in a particular way, but as you'll see in a universal way as well. So looking for toward that redemptive time when we're all flowing up that mountain and we're all singing words of love to that same God, recognizing that we're all, coming up maybe on different sides of the mountain, but like that big picture of that divine flow speaks to us in the same way, right? Maybe we have different names for God, right? But you all know you've met people who are truly like spiritual and religious, and it's like you're speaking the same language. It's the same language, right? But we have different ways at it. Okay. So it's creating space for, kind of those languages to come together on that holy mountain. And then turning again to that prayer that God has turned to the prayer of the destitute and not spurn that prayer, not said, yeah, you're not deserving. Sorry, not your prayer, right? Our prayers are being heard. And then may this be written down. I love this for the coming generations, that people yet to be created may praise God, may praise that divinity. Here, where's this one? Techatev zot, write it down, that this is going to happen, right? That we'll see this influx of exiles, that we'll feel that divine grace upon all of us, and it will come to pass for all generations, right? Yeah, maybe it hasn't come yet, but we're not giving up that hope. Why? Ki yishkif mimarom kadsho Hashem mishamayim el eretz hibit. I love every word of this little section here, by the way. So may it be written down. Why? For God looks down from the holy heights and beholds the earth from heaven. This idea of looking down, it's kind of like we don't really personify God as like that, old man in the sky. Like people do that, but it's kind of very, very, very limiting, right? But this idea of this eye that is on us, however you want to see the eye, the Khamsa, the Middle Eastern kind of symbology, where there's an eye in the middle, like the eye, and to keep ayin hara away, the evil eye. But this idea that there is an eye, a watchful eye, maybe you don't feel it from high above, maybe very close, but to feel watched, to feel seen, right? Not a creepy way, in a beautiful way, that we're seen, that God's looking and cares, right? If you're looking at something, that typically means it's like your attention is on it, right? That God's attention is on us, okay? Hearing us. So we've got all of our like sensory experience here, seeing, feeling, hearing us, right? And check out this word, lishma and kat asir, lifateach b'nei timuta. That God is hearing the groans of the prisoner, releasing those condemned to death. Take that in. Take that in. Right? And you can see why, this really works for this moment. We need this prayer right now. We need the awareness of the possibility of not giving up hope, of that matir asurim, that God is with us in the unbounding of those who are bound. L'saper b'tzion shem Hashem u'tehilato b'Yerushalayim. Right, to see this coming to pass, that it's upon all of us, right? Not just some people, to declare in Zion, in Sion, the name of God and praise and God's praises in Jerusalem. Right, again, this idea of this Jerusalem rebuilt, and seeing, I'm stopping my share, the hostages, all of them released, and all who are hostages, not just, particular ones that we can name, but ones we don't know their names. Right? And all the ways within ourselves, right, to personalize this, that we still feel bound up, right, by past experiences and thought processes, right? Not to minimize, right, the sense of people who are truly bound in darkness right now, right? But we are too, right? Parts of us, right? We know that because freedom of what it means to be human. So this is a prayer for all of us in humanity. And it's a particular prayer that kind of like comes out of that holy place in Jerusalem. And it's a prayer for us to align ourselves with that divine flow, that these things are happening, but maybe asking for a little more acceleration on the parts that we want to see come to full fruition. So a little heaviness, but also an air of hope. okay, that these words have been said for thousands of years. And you and I are now in the chain to put them in our mouths and our hearts to say them as well. It's pretty powerful. So I invite you now to take a moment to settle in, okay, coming back into that chant mode, into the song mode, into the heart mode, to bring the words into a meditation for us as individuals, the Jewish people, for all of humanity. Close your eyes if you'd like. You can close your camera if you'd like, or find a soft, gentle gaze, feeling the ground beneath you, the chair supporting you, your feet supporting you. Feel the energy of the earth beneath you, around you, within you. Bringing into this meditation the themes of compassion and timelessness, knowing that now is an appointed time for mercy, asking for that pivotal moment when divine grace is due. History moves toward justice and healing, even if delayed. Knowing that each of us cherishes the stones, capturing the dust, connecting to that deep emotional and spiritual connection to Zion, even in ruins. We reflect here this value of holding sacred a Jerusalem rebuilt, even knowing that we walk through its remnants. Global global reverence, anticipating a time when we all feel that divine flow moving through us, not just in Israel, all nations, breathing collectively into the consciousness of collective awe, humility, and peace. Feeling with us the presence of divine support, knowing that those, even in the darkest times, can be open to an answer to redemptive justice and liberation. And knowing that this message is not just for us here and now, but for all times, past and present. Embodying the spirit of this message so that we too can be transmitters of hope to the future. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, feeling shoulders relax away from ears. Allowing the facial muscles to relax. Inhaling slowly as you breathe in, imagining a light descending from above, gentle, warm, and full of compassion. Exhaling, releasing any heaviness you carry. Inhaling compassion, releasing the weight. Finding a rhythm of breath that feels comfortable for the next few minutes together. Feeling the sensation of fresh oxygenation moving through body, lungs. Bringing to mind, in the fullness of your spirit, It is time to be gracious. It is time to be gracious. The time has come for change. The time has come for grace. The time has come for love. Breathe in hope. Exhale fear. Allowing a sensation of divine presence above you and beyond you and close and within you. A presence that watches, that listens, that is ready to lift the weary, that is ready to heal broken places. These next few moments, aligning your full spirit with divine will, the energy of the universe, through grace, through love, mercy, compassion, abundance, and flow. I'll call us back in just a few moments. Nine, 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 and nine, 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 and nine, 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 yay, nine, 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 and nine, and nine, nine, yay, nine, nine, yay, nine, nine, and nine, nine, yay, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, nai, yana, nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. May be blessed to feel divine grace and love, compassion and mercy. And may we in turn be those hands and hearts of divine grace and love and mercy to all we know, to whomever we meet. Conclude together with a prayer of peace, wholeness, and healing. Shalom. I'd like to place hand over heart and hand over hand to seal our practice. Shalom 3 times. Shalom. 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 Another nice deep inhale here. And exhale. This concludes our meditation for today.